Dragon Ball Legends has just given Ultra Vegito Blue a brand new equipment. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this equipment is absolutely sensational. UVB was an old character, but with this equipment fully unlocked, he has practically become a monster again. And because Legends has also released a banner where you can get a guaranteed copy of Vegito Blue for 7,000 Chrono Crystals, there's now a very important decision to make, especially if you already have one copy of him at 5 stars, because getting one more copy would bring him to 7 stars and unlock the final ability of his equipment. But before I give you my opinion on whether you should summon, let's break down exactly what this equipment gives him. Starting with Slot 1, Vegito receives 30% base health, 60% base strike and blast attack, and 60% base strike and blast defense. This is already an incredible first slot. He gets a massive increase to both his offensive and defensive stats, while the extra health makes him much harder to defeat. Then we move to Slot 2, where things become completely ridiculous. Vegito gets 220% inflicted damage and 250% damage guard. Those numbers are absolutely insane. This equipment does not simply give him a small improvement. It massively increases his damage while also making him much more difficult to kill. And considering how oppressive Vegito can already be once he starts controlling the match, giving him this much additional damage and defense makes him terrifying. Then we have Slot 3. Every time Vegito enters the battlefield, he restores 15% of his health, gains 40 ki, and nullifies the damage received from element disadvantage for 5 counts. That means he can immediately enter the fight, restore a significant amount of health, continue his pressure with the extra ki, and temporarily protect himself against characters with the color advantage. But there is another effect. Whenever Vegito is hit by an enemy arts card, all of the opponent's arts costs increase by 10 for 5 counts. So while the opponent is trying to attack him, Vegito is actively making their cards more expensive and disrupting their combo. He is healing, gaining ki, protecting himself from color disadvantage, and making it harder for the enemy to maintain pressure. And then, we reach the most important part of the equipment. Slot 4. This ability is only unlocked when Vegito reaches 7 stars. He receives a 50% increase to his unique gauge charge rate. Every time he uses an arts card, he also gains another 25% damage for 10 counts. And when his unique gauge becomes full, he nullifies his element disadvantages for 2 counts and cancels his attribute downgrades. This is the slot that takes the equipment to another level. Vegito's unique gauge is one of the most important parts of his kit, and now he can charge it 50% faster. That means he can activate his most powerful mechanics much more consistently throughout the match. And because he gains additional damage every time he uses an arts card, his combos become more and more dangerous as they continue. Once his gauge becomes full, he can even ignore color disadvantage again. So now we have to talk about the new banner. Legends has released a banner where, after spending 7,000 Chrono Crystals, you can receive a guaranteed copy of Ultra Vegito Blue. If you do not have Vegito at all, then you need to decide whether you really want to invest that many Chrono Crystals into an older character. But if you already have one copy of him at 5 stars, this situation is completely different. Getting that guaranteed second copy would bring him to 7 stars and unlock Slot 4 of the equipment. And honestly, if you already own him and have the 7,000 Chrono Crystals available, I think you should seriously consider doing it. Because you are not only getting more stars on Vegito, you are unlocking the strongest and most important part of an equipment that has completely transformed him. With the full equipment, UVB now has massive offensive stats, incredible defensive support, health restoration, Ki recovery, disruption, faster unique gauge charging, more damage every time he uses an arts card, and multiple ways of dealing with element disadvantage. He is truly monstrous now. Of course, we know that a new character is coming next week, so saving your Chrono Crystals is still a valid option. But personally, I seriously doubt that the next character will be remotely as powerful or as oppressive as this fully equipped Vegito Blue. That is only my prediction, and we will have to wait and see what Legends releases. But right now, Vegito looks like one of the safest and strongest investments in the entire game. So my final opinion is simple. If you already have Ultra Vegito Blue at 5 stars, you have 7,000 Chrono Crystals, and you enjoy using him, then getting the guaranteed copy and unlocking Slot 4 is absolutely worth considering. Because this equipment did not just make Vegito usable again, it turned him into an absolute monster. But let me know what you think. Are you spending the 7,000 Chrono Crystals to unlock Vegito's final equipment slot? Or are you saving everything for the new character coming next week?